Plaid was never a thing for me. Now I have 6 of them. People noticed, and every family member said, we will get him a plaid shirt. So I am now displaying one proud Christmas gift. We have some family business to talk about and take care of before the word, and it's good stuff. It's not like whenever I say to my kids, hey, I need to see you in my study, the face changes. And I tell them, no, I need to talk to you about something normal. So this is one of those normal family functions that we want to have happen. The church is meant to be a multiplying movement of people. We're supposed to make disciples. Those are the great last marching orders that we have in the Great Commission. It's not go as the command and make disciples. It's actually while you continue to go, wherever you continue to go, be making disciples. There are people and places that Jesus has determined uniquely for you to fit into because of your history, because of your job, because of where you live, and you're meant to be a disciple maker in those places. That's not a call from your church. That's not a program. That's part of what God has. It's part of why the Holy Spirit has empowered you. It's part of what you're doing out of faithfulness and gratitude. And then sometimes in the church, he'll raise up people who will go further, distance-wise. And we want that. We really want that. We want to raise up, like the psalmist talks about, a parent being like a man with a quiver full of arrows, that you send them further than you could go. God, we want to be the church where we will send men and women out into the world to tell the greatness of Jesus. And I know there are people at Terra who are considering full-time ministry and church planting in the States and abroad. And we get a couple today to introduce you to. Some of you will know because they've been here for quite a long time, who are living out that Romans 10:15 idea of how beautiful are the feet of those who preach good news. When you've had moments of good news that you've heard in past, you were joyful. When you intersected with the good news of Jesus that changed you forever, you were forever grateful. And Sam and Angie and Will and Katie are going to come up here now. And they've been serving with us at Terra Nova from the beginning. When Terra was an idea of a church that would try to reach differently in different places, they were right there with us. We don't have a ton of ministries. The bulletin isn't filled with all sorts of programs. We try to keep that narrow so that you guys can be involved in a life of that. And the few that we've had, small groups, which we call tribes, they've been involved in both leading and attending at different times. The men's ministry. Sam has cooked for hundreds of you guys on men's retreat, and I know that usually gets the biggest round of applause at the end of the men's retreat, so you guys know Sam. Angie has been very involved with Poema. They've been involved individually with so many people here. It's hard to track exactly what they've done at Terra. I mean, only the Lord knows what you guys have contributed here, and of course, as a community, we're grateful. But you guys have always had a global vision. I think it's part of family life in your households that you pray for the world and that you've seen relatives go out to serve the world. I have a passport list of where you guys have served before: Philippines, China, Nicaragua. Am I missing any? Is that about right? That's about right. So as a family, they would say they've encountered the normal hardships. Not prophetically, we all do, but have walked faithfully with God through those. And through even some of those difficult times, God has made it very clear where they're going and what they're doing. They're going to be headed out to somewhere in the nations to serve. That part isn't clear yet, but here's where they are going. Youth with a Mission is an international sending organization that trains and equips people to go and serve Jesus in foreign countries all over the world. They're going to be heading for the training center, which is in, New Hampshire?
No.
Where is that?
Kona, Hawaii.
Oh, Kona, Hawaii. So they're going to be going to Kona, Hawaii to train to serve people all over the world. And we're really glad about that. It's called Crossroads Discipleship Training Center. It's 3 months of classroom training and 2 months in the field in places like India and Israel before they're permanently placed. It's designed to help launch families together into full-time missions work. They're praying and asking us to pray that there's an open door, there's clarity, there's safety. If you want to be in touch with them after, they're going to have cards giving information on their ministry and how to be in touch with them out at the welcome desk. But for right now, we want to pray for them. This is important for our family to be able to do this. So I'm going to ask elders and wives who are here to come up, and anyone who has served in any of the small groups that they've been in to come up at this time. And we're just going to surround them in prayer. And family who are here as well, who may not have wanted to be in small group with them, but are still family. So we want them to come up as well. Just come right on up. We're going to surround this family and pray together. Let's pray together. Gracious Father in heaven, you raise up and you make low. You've set the course for this family, and we praise you with them, Lord, that you've led in each of these steps, in family strength and weaknesses, in health and prosperity. And God, you're leading them, Lord, to be able to train to reach people for your Son. God, would you please make the voice of those building into them really clear, that they could be as strong as they could possibly be as they go to serve. And during that time, would you also not just build their head, but their heart? Help them to grow a heart for particular people and who those people will be and what you would want them to be able to give. And Lord, build them safely to travel there, Lord. You've designed the bow and the arrow. Take them from here and bring them where you most want them, Lord. We're confident of that. And please help your people here, Lord, to be men and women and children who are faithful to pray for Sam and Angie and Katie and Will, that we would pray for their travel, for their health, that we would pray for their ministry and pray for the strengthening, and pray most of all that through our simple lives given over to faithfulness, the glory of your Son Jesus, God incarnate, come into the world to save mankind, would be evident to people who before did not know, but would be able to turn to you in praise and say, we have heard the good news because you have sent people to us. Bless them as we send them out, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, guys. Well, one more thing that I need to say to you guys. Romans 10 also has a context besides just saying how blessed are the feet of those who bring good news. It says this, how then will they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how are they to believe in him of whom they've never heard? Now, there's another translation that's a very good English translation that says, how will they believe in him whom they have not heard? Not heard of, but heard. Very different distinction when they say, how will they believe in the one they haven't heard yet? And how will they hear unless someone preaches? It tells us something more than human goes on in the preaching event. The voice of Jesus gets heard as we hear preachers speak the word to us. So this morning we have a guest preacher who's been a guest here before, who's attended here before, who's taught men's ministries before. So he's almost not a guest anymore. We can treat him like family. You don't have to be as polite as you would be to the normal guests. James McDonald is a native New Englander. He was born and raised in Bennington. He then went south to study at Liberty University in Lynchburg, graduated from there, and continued to follow what the Lord was doing in his life, where the Lord was setting him to go. And that's into vocational ministry in the United States, and particularly looking back at the Northeast. He's currently finishing his last year in a Master of Divinity program at Southern Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. So join me in praying for James, then he's going to bring us the word today. Father in heaven, we're so grateful, Lord, that you raise up people constantly to speak your word, Lord. That it wouldn't be quiet, it wouldn't be located in one place and be lost, that you continue to spread your kingdom and multiply disciples and multiply churches. Lord, would you help us through the power of your Spirit to enter the preaching moment with the sacredness it's entitled to, that we would seek not just to hear about Jesus, but that we'd be here seeking to hear from Jesus. Would you quiet skepticism, convict us of our sin, and open our hearts to turn to you? We ask this in Jesus' name and for his greatest glory. Amen.
All right. Thank you so much, Ed. And it really is a privilege to be back here with you. And like Ed said, it really is, this is like a home away from home as far as church family goes for me. Served here for 2 years during the summer months in college. And I was actually thinking on the way over today, I drove over from Bennington, and I was just like, well, man, what a blessing it is to be driving over here at 7:30 and not 6 a.m. to help set up chairs. Because that was primarily one of my jobs, is coming over and getting up at 5 a.m., driving over at 6 a.m. So thank you to those who did get up and come and set up chairs. But man, that felt good. I said, it felt good to be able to come to Terra a little bit later than I was used to coming. So that was great. And it really is a privilege. And so I do thank you all for being so just great for bringing me back, and I'm thankful to Ed and to Phil when he was here, and of course to Paul. So thank you guys so much. We're going to be in John 3 today. But before we go there, let's pray. Father God, Lord, I thank you and I praise you for the love that you have poured out for us through your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, you displayed a love that is inconceivable to us. And God, I just pray that the weight of what you did and how much you poured out for us would be on our hearts today, Father God. I pray that we would come before your throne in worship through the preaching of your word, and that we would honor you today in all that we think and all that we do and how we bring this before you. So I thank you and praise you, Lord. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. So a few weeks ago, I had the privilege of holding in my hands a 1526 edition of the Tyndale New Testament. For those of you who don't know the significance of a Tyndale New Testament, William Tyndale was a man who lived in the early 1500s, a very well-educated man. He was educated at Oxford and Cambridge, and he became a translator of the Word of God. He was an ordained priest in the Church of England, and he became convicted that the Bible should be in the common tongue of men. And so he spent his time translating the Bible into the English that we have it today. And so he just poured out his life into this. This was his life's work. But now, at the time, this was a highly illegal venture. You see, at the time, in both Roman Catholicism and in the Church of England, the Bible was not to be read by the common folk. It was just for the priests. It was just for the pastors. It was just for the educated people. And they would tell the people what needed to be heard. And also at the time, education was very low for the common person. And so they just didn't think it was worth it to teach them how to read. And so priests and bishops and the like would preach out of Latin, and they would write all their theological treatises in Latin. And even Martin Luther originally wrote his 95 Theses in Latin, and it was translated in English, and then, of course, the Reformation took off. But I held in my hand a copy of this incredibly powerful book, the most powerful book that's ever been produced. And at the time, there were 2,000 copies of this Tyndale New Testament. And today, there's only 6. One of which the Queen has, another which is in a museum over in England. And so this private collection agency, it's like a traveling museum. I helped them set up, and this is like their crown jewel, so normally they don't let people touch it. But I helped them set up for this conference, and so they let me hold it and kind of look through it. And you can kind of imagine, there wasn't literally blood stains on it, but people literally died to protect this book. Not necessarily because of the book itself, because of what it contained. It contained the words that lead to everlasting life. And Tyndale, this was his work. He loved it. And what made him do this wasn't his hatred for the king. It was his love for the king. It was his love for the people. He poured out his love into this work. And so he had many enemies. He ran away from England for a time so he could continue translating. And Roman Catholic authorities and English authorities were after him. And finally, in 1535, a friend who actually helped him in his translating, knew all that he was doing, very Judas-like, just turned on him and turned him into the authorities and set him up. So Tyndale was tricked and he was led into captivity. He was tortured and starved, and all they wanted him to do was recant and say, "Never again will I do this. I was wrong." But once again, his love for God and his love for his fellow man drove him to not recant. And so in 1536, Tyndale was brought before the town, and before him was a cross, and they tied him to the cross. They put a noose around his neck. They piled logs at his feet with a sack of gunpowder, And they said, "One more time, will you recant?" He said, "I cannot." And then they gave him a chance to pray. And he decided to pray his prayer out loud. And he said, "Lord, open the King of England's eyes." And at that moment, the official gave the signal, the noose tightened around his neck, the match was lit, and the gunpowder went off, and he was strangled and burnt alive. Why would he do this? For him, it was simple. He loved God with his whole heart, and he loved his fellow man, and he knew that this endeavor of translating the word of God was worth it. And it wasn't even just love for other people. He loved the very man who was executing him, the King of England, as he prayed at the very end, "Lord, open his eyes." Love is not just a feeling. I think in our culture, in our day, we tend to romanticize love. But love is not just a feeling. Love is an action. It's a pouring out of yourself for other people, even people who you might consider your enemy. And we see the love of God poured out in this marvelous way and displayed in this amazing manner. We see the love of God poured out for mankind in the person of Jesus Christ to a world that rebelled against him, a world that hates God. He shows his love for them in this way, that he sent his son, his very own son, to die for them. So in John 3, verses 16 to 21, we see this evidently displayed. If you want to go ahead and turn in your Bibles or get on your phone and type it in. If you don't have a copy of God's Word with you, go ahead and raise your hand, and someone will come by and give you that book. And if you don't have a Bible, please keep that. It's my privilege to go ahead and say Tara's going to give that to you, and that's a gift from them to you. So let's go ahead and read God's Word, starting in verse 16 of chapter 3. If you don't know where John 3 is, just go ahead and tap the person next to you, and they'll be more than happy to show you. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God." To give context to this text, we must understand that throughout the whole entire book of John, the major theme is that John is calling people, all people, to believe in Jesus Christ, to believe in what he has done. And so here, in fact, in chapter 20, this is the great thing about John, is he actually gives us the purpose statement of the book. And I love that. It makes it easy for us. But in chapter 20, in verses 30 to 31, he actually says, "These things are written," talking about the signs and the miracles and who Jesus is. He says, "These things are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have eternal life in his name." And that is the need that we all have. We all are desperate for life, and it can only be found in Jesus Christ. And in John 3 specifically, we actually see this Jewish teacher, a high-class ruler known as Nicodemus. And he actually comes to Jesus. And there's debate on how he came, whether it was, he was coming in a subversive manner. I want to say he came in good faith. He wanted to know what was going on with Jesus. And so he came at night, it says. This was the first Nick at night, you could say. Nicodemus came, and he questioned Jesus on multiple levels. And Jesus continually just said, "Even you, a man who's a teacher of Israel, you know the scriptures. You have all the scrolls. You could probably sit here and just say the words of the Old Testament over and over and over again. You probably repeat them day after day. But even you need me. You need what I'm going to do for you, because even in your righteousness, you're missing the mark. You cannot do it on your own. And here is, like I said, a teacher of Israel who looks to be even a good teacher, a man who wants to know the truth. But even he is missing the mark. And so, we all need to believe on the one who's been sent, and that is Jesus Christ. So as we look at John 3, 16 and 21, we're going to focus on two major impacts of God's love. First, we'll see the universal impact of God's love in verses 16 to 18, and then we'll see a personal impact of God's love in verses 19 to 21. In verse 16 to 18, we see this universal impact that God's love had on the world. And specifically, in the beginning of verse 16, it says, "For God so loved the world." We see the intensity of his love. In fact, we see exactly how God loved the world. If you look at the footnotes in an ESV, if you're reading ESV, a footnote says that it could be translated, "For this is how God loved the world." We want to put the focus here on the action. We want to put the focus on what God is doing, not so much the quantity of his love, but the quality of his love. I think it's easy to think that the world is a lovable place, that because God loved us so very much, he sent his son. It's not so much saying that as this is how God loved us, that he sent his son. Put the focus on the action of who he sent. Put the focus back on Jesus, not the focus on us or on the world. And so certainly God's love has a great quantity to it, and we'll get to that in a second. But in this moment, we need to be aware that God's love is seen as the sending of Jesus Christ. And the world in the Gospel of John, in fact, throughout the whole book, it's not a great thing. In fact, the world is spoken of as this system that rails against and goes against everything that Jesus is and everything that Jesus does. The world is the opposite. This is a Genesis 3 world that's being talked of here, not a Genesis 1 to 2 world. Genesis 1 to 2, we see this beautiful world. We see Adam and Eve operating in the love of God and walking with God. But in Genesis 3, everything falls apart. That's the world that we're speaking of here in John 3, where everything has gone to the bad places. And this is a good time to bring up that in the beginning of John, it says, "In the beginning was the Word." This should, all of us, when we hear "in the beginning," this should harken right back to Genesis. This is a major thing that's going on here that's going to take place universally. So just as in Genesis, in the beginning, God created, and there was an impact on the whole world, so in the beginning of John, in the beginning was the Word. We know that something major is going to happen to the world at that time. And so, this speaks to how intense God's love truly is. That God's love for the world, in spite of the fact that it doesn't love him back and it doesn't want anything to do with him. And as we continue on in verse 16, we then do see the immensity of God's love. We do see that quantity. For he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. God's love is shown to be so great that he did give his own son. We shouldn't divorce the fact that this was a hard thing for the Father to do just simply because he's God and because Jesus is God and they existed eternally together. I think sometimes it can be easy to just assume that because God is eternal and because he is all-knowing, he knew that the Son would be back with him again, and so this wasn't a hard thing this was an incredibly hard thing for the Father because at this time, things were going to change. It says in John 1:14 that the Word became flesh. I think it's safe to say throughout the rest of Scripture, we don't see the Son in the form of flesh. But here he's becoming flesh, and he's becoming flesh eternally, for he was resurrected bodily, and he's going to come back bodily. Things were going to change within the triune Trinity. And also, we see that he has to pour his wrath out on this perfect Son. The Son that's done no wrong, that's been nothing but obedient to him. He now has to pour out all the righteous wrath that we deserve. He now has to pour out on his Son. This is an incredibly hard thing to do. And yet, they went through with it. So we should see the greatness of his love here. But that's not the only way that we see the immensity of God's love. We also see that God truly loves all people. And that the sending of his Son is for all people. God is not a regional God. He's a global God. And he desires to be known globally throughout the nations. There is no more Jew or Greek. There is simply saved and unsaved. But he desires all people to come to him. And that's what we see here. We see this love that really is truly immense, that truly is great, because he desires all people to come to him. And he sent his Son to die for all people for the purpose that they might obtain eternal life. And in verse 17, we then see the intention of his love, why he came. And it says that for God did not send his Son in the world to condemn the world. And I think often we have a hard time thinking about that because I think the church and the Bible in general is seen by the outside world as a list of do's and do nots, especially focusing on the do nots. And we tend to think of the Bible as just condemnation towards us continually. We tend to think of Christ as coming and saying, you're guilty, you're guilty. And the fact is, that's true in some sense. We're incredibly guilty. But Christ came to save. And how do we know this? How does this, you say, well, in John 9:39, it does say, for judgment I came into the world. But this isn't a contradiction, for most importantly, we know that Jesus did not come into a neutral world. It says we were condemned already. We're already in a state of condemnation. We've condemned ourselves. Our sin has turned against us. And so Jesus did not come, stand up on a platform and decide, almost like duck, duck, goose, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, 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 not guilty. That's not how it works. We're all guilty. We're all in the same boat. But Jesus came so that he might save some, that he could pluck some and bring them back to the Father. And we all have that opportunity of salvation. And that's why Jesus came. And that's what he did. He said, come to me. I know you're guilty, but come to me, look to me, and I'll set you free. And we actually see Jesus illustrating this in verses 14 to 15 when he's talking to Nicodemus. Just before this, he actually says, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believes in him may have eternal life. And what he's talking about here goes back to Numbers 21 specifically. And in Numbers, we see the people of Israel wandering through the desert. This was a tough time for them as they were continually rebelling against God, and they wouldn't be allowed into the promised land. And during this time, they'd go through stages of just hatred against the leader that God put over them, Moses, and they would just rebel against Moses. And this is one of those times. They rebelled against Moses. They were speaking bad against him and God's plan for them. And so God decided to punish them. And so he sent snakes into their camp, and the snakes bit them. And many of them died. Many became sick. And then the people, after all of this turmoil, decided to come back and repent and say, we were wrong. We understand that God is in control. And so God had Moses make a bronze serpent and put it on a pole and lift it up. And he said, tell the people that if they would just look up to the pole, if they would just look up to the bronze statue, that I will heal them. They needed the faith to simply look up and look to their salvation. And so here, Jesus is saying, I'm that salvation. Look up, look to me, come to me, all of you. You're all sick, you're all dying. Look to me, come to me. Every man, woman, and child, this is for you. Look to Jesus. But he doesn't stop there. He invites us to partake in this love. In verse 18, we see the invitation to partake in the love of God. You are invited here to believe in Jesus Christ. For it says, whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. Friends, we are already condemned. There is no third way. You either believe in Jesus Christ and what he has done for you, or you do not believe. He offers us a free gift. And he offers to free you from the binding condemnation of the sin that's binding you up and imprisoning you. We just need to look to him. And we also shouldn't, it's not a complete lie to say that all roads lead to God. It's just a matter of what God is going to say to you when you get there. And friends, this is the only road where God says, well done, good and faithful servant. Enter ye into my rest. And so that is what Jesus came. Partake in this love. You have an open invitation from God. And so when he looks upon you, when you get there, when he looks upon you, he will see his Son in your place. He will see the righteousness of his Son. He won't see you clothed in your wickedness. We must not forget that God has called us out of this world, though. I think oftentimes we can become so focused on separating the world and unbelievers and believers. But we must realize that we're called out of this world. We, as believers, if you are a believer, you were part of the world. You were an unbeliever. And so you're being called out of that. But that doesn't mean you turn your back on the rest of the world. That doesn't mean you run and you hide. And yeah, we all want justice for wrongdoing. But friends, God did not stop loving with me, and he did not stop his love with just you. He loves the world, and it is our job to take his love to the ends of the earth. Moving on to verses 19 to 21, we see a personal impact of God's love. And now, you're probably thinking, well, the first 3 verses were personal as well, and that's true. What we want to focus on here is that in the first 3 verses, it's God did something for all mankind. In the next 3 verses, in the last 3 verses here, it demands a response, a personal response. And so there's a personal impact, and God's loving action demands a response. And are we going to stay firmly planted in the mud and muck of our sin? Or are we going to turn in repentance towards Jesus? In verse 19, things don't look good. In fact, he says, the judgment is here. The verdict has been declared. Our verdict has been declared, and it is not good. It is negative. And so John brings in this courtroom language. He's basically saying, we're before the judge, we're before the jury, and we have been pronounced guilty. And friends, this guilty verdict is sure. We are not Adnan Syed, okay? This is not a serial podcast. Friends, there is no doubt that we are condemned. And so we see here that the judgment has come because light has come into the world. And because Jesus has come, there's two sides of the coin. Jesus came bringing salvation, but in doing that, it also reveals that you have to make a decision. You have to be on one side or the other. And so when light enters into a dark room, it overtakes the darkness. It shows what was before veiled. And it also shows you, if you've ever been in a completely dark room and then you turn on a flashlight or something, it's like, oh, that's what's there. And when I was a kid, I wasn't what you would call a bad kid, but I would get into a lot of petty trouble, whether it was just talking in class and just stirring up various things. Like I said, didn't get into a ton of trouble, but enough. And so, but oftentimes when in a group of kids and stirring up some type of rebelliousness of some kind, and then an adult would come and catch you, or a teacher would catch you, I'd be the first one to slink and slide kind of to the back, just to try to make sure to not get caught. And friends, that's what happens when light comes in and shines on you. When you're in sin and when you're rebelling against God, you don't want to be exposed. You slink back in cowardice, in cowardly fear of being exposed. And so you never are exposed because you just want to get away from that. So fear of exposure keeps us from being exposed, thus keeping us from coming to the light. Friends, we need to come to the light to be freed. The exposure is not a bad thing. The exposure is not the enemy. We're the enemy. The exposure is the way that we are freed. It shows us our condemnation. It shows us our sin and brings us to a point of redemption, brings us to a point of repentance. And so there's an element of application here, I think, both for the unbeliever and for the believer. Strictly speaking, this verse is speaking to unbelievers who love darkness, who reject the light. And if you're an unbeliever, I'd plead with you, come to the light. Come to Jesus Christ. Believe on him. Believe in what he has done for you. But there's an application here for believers as well. And believers, although we don't love the darkness and we don't love sin, we still are sinners and we still do sin. And oftentimes we hold on to and grip onto some sins longer than we ought. And so, here, and at times, we hide from sin, even as believers, for fear of being exposed, for fear that our standing won't be as it was once before, for fear that our reputation would be hurt. Friends, once again, for believers, we need to come to the light. Do not be afraid of the exposure, for in the exposure is where we find salvation. In the exposure is where the burdens fall off our back, because we've come into the light. You should be much more fearful of never being exposed, for that's a hopeless situation. Being exposed frees you up to pursue Christ in all of his freedom. And moving with that theme in verse 20, we see that our wickedness completely imprisons us. And in verse 20, it says, "For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his work should be exposed." Our actions betray ourselves in total darkness and wickedness. And so our actions are the only witness that's needed to pronounce a guilty verdict. No other witnesses need to be called. For the actions, what pours out of us, that's what we are. That says the final verdict. And those who choose to stay in darkness, they're not making a neutral choice, but rather they are declaring their allegiance to the leader of rebellion against God. This is not something, well, I'm just going to do me and we'll see what happens in the end. No, you're choosing a side no matter what. You're believing in Christ and you're making that step towards the light, or you're shrinking away and you're running away and rebelling against him. The more wicked one becomes, the more wickedness that we hide behind, the further from the light and the harder it is to be exposed. I know we've probably all experienced that. The further we get into sin, the further we get into wickedness, the harder it is to come back, because then there's more to be exposed. Once again, friends, come to the light. Come to the light and be exposed. Free yourselves from the burden that is on you. For God has set us free, and we see that in verse 21. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. When you read the Bible, the conjunction but becomes such a beautiful word. It's all throughout. We see pronunciations of guilty verdicts, and we see that we are condemned, but God sent his son. But is this amazing, beautiful conjunction throughout the Bible. And so whoever does what is true comes to the light. Accepting truth, repenting of your sins, drives you to exposure by the light. Exposure, once again, is not your enemy. You are your enemy. Sin is your enemy. We must be careful here, though, not to assume that verse 21 is simply parallel to or antithetical to verse 20. For in verse 20, the blame for wicked actions is purely on us. The blame for condemnation is on our actions, what we've done. But in verse 21, there's this interesting phrase here, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. You see, it is not we who produces good works, but it is God in us producing what we otherwise could not produce. To God be all the glory for our salvation. To God be all the glory that we are able to worship him and praise him and not exist in sin and darkness. And so if we strive for righteousness and for good, it is not us. And we can't do it in our own understanding. It is only by the work of God. It is only because of his love poured out for us that he can empower us through the Holy Spirit to produce good works and to do the things that are true. This Christmas, many of you probably who have young families and young children, some of those young children may have gotten a ball for Christmas, some type of a game, and they have a ball. And I do this with my nephews a lot, especially when they were young and even babies. If you're a guy, you want to teach your nephews or your sons how to throw a ball. That's a big thing. And so they're able to grip balls really well, babies and kids. But the throwing's a completely different thing. And it doesn't matter how far you are from that child. For whatever reason, that ball isn't going to come to you. It's going to go anywhere else, but it's not going to come to you. It could go backwards, it could go to the side, and you could be right next to him. But that ball doesn't go to its intended target. And that's like us. It doesn't matter how hard we try. If we try to produce good works in our own understanding and in our own strength, like Nicodemus, we will miss the mark. The ball will go awry. We'll miss the target completely. And so, wrapping this up, God's love for us does bring about two kinds of people that has nothing to do with race or gender, but simply believers and unbelievers. Do you believe or do you not believe? But it's also produced in us the question of, well, then how do we love the world? How do we apply this? And I would say we need to love the world by giving what God has given. Give them Jesus. Just give them Jesus, for that is how God loved the world. And I think the world will tell you, don't give us Jesus. Give us everything but him. But they don't know what true love is, for this is how God loved the world, that he sent his son. And so we tend to end up in two ditches, I think, when it comes to the world. It's easy to think that we need to run and hide from the world. And so we want to remain unstained by the sin and the evils of the world and the culture. And so we gather up our family, we pull the blinds, we shut the door, and we just say, "Come, Jesus, come." And that's one ditch we tend to fall into. The other ditch that we tend to fall into, and I think it's easier, especially for us who are younger, is we tend to join the world. We want to be the opposite of maybe our parents and older people who wanted to shelter us. So we want to get into the world, and we join the world, and we think that that's how we will change the world, is by becoming part of it. But friends, if there's times that our unbelieving friends will look at us and they see no difference between us and them, then how are they going to believe us when we pronounce the good news and say that you too need a Savior? But the opposite is true. If we run and hide from the world and we bunker down, why would our unbelieving friends and family, why would they believe us then? There's no reason for them to. They don't see it in action. They don't see the love that you have for God in action for them, on their behalf, being poured out. And so in a worse way, we may never even testify of Jesus because we're so bunkered down in our own bubble. Going back to William Tyndale, he suffered enormously for the work that he did. He never grew tired and he never gave up, simply because of the love for God and the love for his fellow man that drove him to want to put the Bible into the hands of every person. And he could love this way because God loved him. And he knew that he might suffer here on earth and that ultimately would bring his death. But he knew his reward was much greater in heaven. And Tyndale's character and how he suffered is very amazing. 2 months later, Oliver Cromwell, who was a leader in the north in England, he asked someone about Tyndale. And an agent who happened to be there said that Tyndale suffered with amazing patience about himself and grace about himself. He was fine with dying. He just wanted the message to go forth. And you know, in 1611, the Bible ended up being authorized by the king and published, and 85% of it was basically taken right out from Tyndale's own translation. And so Tyndale's focus was on Christ. And while he was condemned and while he died, his work went on, and he had something produced in him that he himself could not produce. As we move to a time of reflection, and we'll ask the band to come up here in just a sec, come back up, and we need to reflect on God's universal love for all of us. God did something for all of us. He laid down his son to be put on the cross, to die for me and for you. This was a universal action, but it demands a personal response. We all have a decision to make. We all have an allegiance to pledge. And this response becomes crucial in the next moments of even this service as we move into a time of communion. For at communion, we declare our allegiance to Jesus Christ. So if you're a believer, that's your response. So I want to remember what Christ did for me on the cross, and that one day he is coming back. But if you're an unbeliever, that's not your response. We want that to be your response. So we invite you to believe. If you know that's not you, I'll say don't come and partake of the bread and of the cup, but find someone. Say, I want to believe in Jesus Christ. This is a good thing if you're at that point. If your soul is stirred to want to believe in Jesus. And so, friends, we all have a response. In this time, reflect on God's amazing love and respond accordingly. Let's pray. Father, we are so indebted to you, so indebted to your Son, that you would look on him and pardon us. Father, thank you. Jesus, thank you. We love you. Our desire is that we would honor you, that we would go forth from here and make disciples of all people, of all nations, everywhere. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. As we do each week